the one, the only, Ben Good afternoon and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, Iyun to Lean On. Today we're doing Siman Reish Chafei, Siman 225 in Shulchan Aruch or Chaim. Most of the Siman talks about the bracha of Shechayah. The end talks about, the last Sif talks about an interesting bracha, which most people don't make and they should be making. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam. It's recorded in the Gemara, Shekacha lo ba'olamo, that you're happy that something like this exists in the world. When do you say that? When you see nice trees, nice animals, and beautiful people. You see beautiful people. If you're walking down the street and you see me, you should say Kacha lo ba'olamo. I'm paskening. I'm not a rabbi, but it's a true halacha. You should say Kacha lo ba'olamo until you see someone who's more beautiful than me. Then you can say it again. If you think there's more beautiful people. But that's true. This is halacha. Halacha is whether it's a man or a woman. I want to discuss a woman now. Now, you're not allowed to see a woman, apparently, according to modern day poskim, but there's a bracha. And the Gemara and Avodah Zarah says Rekiva made the bracha on a woman. So you're allowed to look at a woman. You're just not, as Mishnah Berurah says, but you can't gaze at her too much and to contemplate her image. You can't contemplate her image, as he says. That's asur. Why is that asur? The Magen Avram says that. Where is that from? I believe it's from the Gemara. If you look at the Gemara, they don't say that. The Gemara says two things. The Gemara says, that's talking about when you're together with your wife, you shouldn't think about a different woman, even if she's your co-wife. How could you have a co-wife, second wife? And it also says in Avodah Zarah, in that daf on Amud Beis, the Gemara says over there that you have to be careful. Yeah, what the Gemara says that Al Yahar Adam Ayom V'Yavel Lidei Tuma Balayla. That Hishamer Lecha, I forget what the Gemara says, but I forget the pasuk, the sources, but it says you have to be careful not to think about something. Lidei Tuma Balayla. Now it's not clear what the Gemara means. Some people say you shouldn't look at a woman, and this is where it comes from. You shouldn't look at her too much and contemplate her because you might have a wet dream. Is that what it's talking about? Or Tuma Balayla is that you're together with your wife and you're thinking about her, and that's what I think it is. Other people say it's masturbating, whatever the Tuma Balayla. But it's only because of that. That's where the source is. There's no place in the Gemara where you can't look. There's no place in the Torah where you can't look at a woman. And this is the reason that they don't print in Jewish publications, they won't print women. On buses here in Israel, you will not find pictures of women, at least in the from areas. People go crazy with this. They're meshugana. People are absolutely meshugana. The bigger a rabbi you become, the more afraid. I heard a story from my Rebbe, Rav Yaakov Friedman. He used to. He had a Rebbe of his name was Rav Chaim Brim. It was one of the bigger tzaddikim, I guess, in Yerushalayim, in the older generation. And he used to tell stories about this Rav Chaim Brim with such adoration, such adulation. And one of the stories he told about him was that he was on the way to Levaya. He was on the way to escort someone, Mea Sharim. He was on the way to escort someone to a Levaya. They were walking through the streets in Yerushalayim. And I don't know if he was with Rav Yaakov Friedman or with somebody else, but he told this other person that he's not going to proceed any further. Because the family is not going to be insulted that he doesn't, escort that person to, wherever he's being escorted to Shamgar or wherever they're going to give the hesped. But the reason he gave was because there's women. As if he would continue on the path, there'd be women he would be passing by. Now, he wasn't going to look at the woman. For sure not. He wasn't going to look at the woman. But he didn't want to pass by the woman. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about one from Mea Sharim. If you've ever gone to Mea Sharim, there's a lot of ladies over there that, some of them that have cult-like wearing black, blankets over their entire bodies. Even the ones that don't wear black blankets, everyone is fully, clad from head to toe at woman, with very modest clothing. He was afraid of these Mea Sharim ladies. And Rav Yaakov Friedman said, we have to learn from this how much you have to be careful. Come on. We have to be normal over here. And this is the reason that smartphones are not allowed. Why are smartphones not allowed? Because you're going to see illicit pictures of women not dressed properly. My wife was telling me yesterday, we went to America, and we shopped for clothing over there. She got some Tommy Hilfiger polo shirts. She's obviously not going to wear them as a polo shirt, like it's with short sleeves. It's short sleeves. She wore it today the first time, but she wore, I think they call it a shell underneath with the long sleeves. And I joked around with her. I said, you wear it without the shell tomorrow, It's a hot day, it's 80 degrees here in Israel. And obviously it was a joke. But then I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, wait a second. She's like, sure, it's usher. I said, wait, it's not. The Gemara says maybe shok be'isher, the legs, but who says you have to cover your arms? In fact, there's a Gemara in Maseches Ksuvos that the wife, I believe, of Abaye, she revealed her arm. And Rava was very attracted to her, so he ran home and was together with his wife. But there's no isser to uncover your arms. I mean, you could wear a tank top. I know, technically. I don't know. She asked, maybe you don't have to wear a shirt. I don't know. Maybe the breasts are considered erva. I don't know. But the point is that the real I said for sure it's much, because even the Gemara says that certain things are erva. Shok b'isha erva, tevach b'isha erva, and b'mar brachos. All the Gemara is talking about over there is that you can't say kriya shema in front of those things. It implies what? You're allowed to look at these things. Just when you're looking at them, don't say kriya shema. All right, there's no Gemara that says that erva is usher to look at. It calls it erva. Does not mean it's usher, right? So everything. There's a whole book. There's a compendium. This big book, written by a rabbi, I think from Gateshead. Passed away recently, a couple of years ago, I think. He wrote a book, Oz V'Hadar Levusha or something that's called. It's like a 600-page book about all the halachas about tznius. I told my wife 95% of the stuff has no source whatsoever. They talk about, sewing extra buttons onto clothes. They have a regular shirt, a button-down shirt. You should sew extra buttons onto it. You should raise the neckline you shouldn't the collarbone for sure. But then how much? It's ridiculous, all this stuff. And there's and the reason I'm talking about this now is because we see there's a bracha. You're supposed to make a bracha. Now, when you make a bracha on a food, you're supposed to look at the food, right? When you make a bracha on a woman, a beautiful woman, a gorgeous woman, whether she's Jewish or not Jewish, and if she's not Jewish and it's a summer, she's not going to be wearing sneeze-stick clothing. But you are responsible to look at her for the amount of time it takes to say the bracha. Now, maybe you should, if she's not dressed properly, then you shouldn't say the bracha. But the Gemara says kriya shema, you shouldn't say in front of erva. It implies that brachos, yes. Otherwise, it would have said brachos, which are kol shegen. If you say brachos are only derabanan, you can't say. Certainly, the mitzvah of kriya shema, daraisa, you can't say. The fact you don't say the kriya shema implies that brachos you're allowed to say in front of erva. So you're allowed to say it. You're allowed to look at the woman. You're supposed to look at her, and you're supposed to stare at her, ogle her, think about her. There's no reason. And what I see even more over here is that they quote over here in footnote number 69. I'm not going to make any jokes. The Gran Karlitz, Nissan Karlitz, he was a relative of the Chazon Ish, like a nephew. He says, "Misham kach das ha Gran Karlitz sheish Israel istak gam betmuna mudfeset, af she'ein zu hidbonenu behem atzma." No, it's not just us to look at women, even look at pictures of women, and that's why the magazines don't. Even a picture. Now, years ago, I asked my Rebbe Yaakov Friedman. I came back to America. I was living in America at that point, and my parent got the newspaper, the Newsday. And the Sunday edition of the Newsday came with a lot of advertisements. And if you know from advertisements, in a non-Jewish country, in a non-Jewish newspaper, there's going to be a lot of women wearing bras and stuff like that. It's not salacious. It's not, to entice you. It's just they want to show you what the bra looks like. Obviously they have good-looking women who are wearing them, but they're not covered. So their arms are not covered, their collarbone is not covered. They're wearing a bra. So I said, can I make a bracha facing them? Not that I was looking at them, but it was all over the kitchen. The Sunday newspaper. All the advertisements could be one corner was a picture here, one picture here. A lot of advertisements for different things. Women not dressed sneezely according to Oz V'Hadar Levusha, the book. So, can I make a bracha? He says no problem making a bracha. So I was at that point in my life not questioning anything. I took it. I was happy. I let him make a bracha. I wasn't looking at them. But there's halachas about saying kriya shema when your body's facing them, even though your eyes are closed. You can't be saying a bracha. You can't say Kriya Shema according to the Gemara. So I was happy I got that. So he obviously did not hold unless, all right. So that's the thing. So did my Rebbe Rav Yaakov Friedman argue on Rav Nissan Koreles and say that pictures are different? They're not considered erva? In which case it's mutter to look at pictures. And if it's okay to look at pictures, then it's okay to look at advertisements because, it's not actually seeing the person. We learned in the Simon over here that if you saw a friend you saw 30 days before, and then you see him 30 days later, you make a shechyan if he's a good friend of yours. What's the halacha if you never saw him before? You just wrote letters. And I suggested, what if you saw pictures on the computer and then you see the person? Because you don't make shechyan. Because it's not the same. Seeing a person in real life is different. So I believe that's the basis of Yaakov Friedman's psak. The erva in real life is different. It's more arousing than a picture. People will question this. It could be it's just as arousing, but to stand in front of erva, a woman who's actually naked in front of you, is a lot more enticing than an actual picture. So it made sense to me that the same halacha should not apply. But in Koreles it says, no, the same thing applies to pictures. And that's why they don't put in these publications, the front publications, pictures of women who are dressed unsneistically. In fact, they won't even put pictures of women that are dressed sneistically. And it's just taking it overboard. It's crazy. It's a whole basis. No one even talks about the reason they ask for smartphone. This is the reason they ask for smartphone. Why do they ask for smartphone? Because it says about atheism and talk about atheism. The rabbis are not afraid people are going to go to atheism because there's strong debates about atheism. No one, the atheists don't speak anymore. I mean, Ben Shapiro is telling you out there why you should believe in God, even though it's not factual or even though it's not scientific or rational. He believes in God. So Ben Shapiro, the best debater out there besides me, he'll tell you it's believe in God. There's no strong lure of atheism on the internet. That's not why people. The reason the rabbis are afraid is because of women, and that people will be enticed by all the women. There's a lot of pornography all over the internet. It's very easy to access pornography. That's why they're. But if there's no problem looking at women who are unclad completely, so there's nothing to talk about, and smartphones should be allowed because they help make your life normal and much easier. I feel so bad for these people that don't have access to these things. Their lives are so complicated, really complicated. You can't live today without a smartphone, without all the features. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you on the next one.